just on the road.
Oh
So
my God.
you got this like I don't know. I need y'all's help real quick. Y'all look like some strong boys. That can't be real. There can't
Right.
be someone who loves me. Like all this putting it down with a 9 to 5, not having to depend.
Can't do nothing without you.
Oh man, what's up, my God Talk people, man? How y'all feeling, man? I hope y'all feeling good. Man, we back with another great episode, another great story. And episode 12. Man, I appreciate y'all, man. We got the episode 12. And I got a special guest here with me, man. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Kid Prince. A lot of my friends call me Prince. Y'all can just call me Prince.
Yes, sir, man. We got Prince in the building, and like I always say, man, we're gonna dive straight into it. Man. if you don't mind talking to me and talking to them, how did you grow up and how was your living arrangements?
Growing up. So I'm from Philly. We was in Port Richmond, so right there on Richmond Ave. Um, I lived with my 3 other siblings, so I had 2 brothers and a sister, my stepmom, my pops, and then all of our cousins. So my
Wow.
grandmother, my grandfather, a couple uncles. So we're all in this duplex town right there on Richmond Ave. So it was a pretty cramped living arrangement. Growing up, I didn't know my mom's. She was addicted to crack cocaine.
Wow.
She had me at about 16 years old. After she had my younger brother, she was about 19. She disappeared. So
Wow.
my pops was 18 years old, stepping up to take care of us. And yeah, so he was still a kid himself, trying to figure things out. So
Yeah.
we was on survival mode
Wow.
for a lot of them early years until my grandmother stepped in and did most of the raising. So she was a devout Christian woman. She was originally from Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Okay.
And so she would always go back and forth to her hometown, back to Philly, to her hometown, back to Philly, and she would just raise us and nurture us and start teaching the word to us at a younger age. So I was aware of who Christ was in the Gospels, but it wasn't a part of my daily life,
Right.
So growing up, we were always getting evicted. We eventually had to move out from my family home where my grandmother and everybody lived because it was just like telling my pops, like, yo, you got to step up. You got 3 kids. We can't take care of all these kids. 4 kids. We can't take care of all these kids for you. You got to do it yourself. So when I was about 10 or 11, my dad pulled us out of school and we traveled. We traveled for about 2 years from Philly, Missouri, North Carolina, all the way. Just keep bouncing back. I didn't go to school from 5th grade to 7th.
Wow.
Because we lived in the car, just on the road.
Oh my God.
You got this I don't know if people know what a Ford Taurus is, but it was this low gold Ford Taurus that we lived in. So all 4 kids in the back, all our bags of clothes in the back, in the trunk. My pops and my stepmom in the front. We get it where we had to get it. Wash up in the bus station, park in the parking deck at the mall, like the very top area where they don't really check security checks, anything like that. Sleep, go to the library in the morning, wash up, get ready. And then, my dad would send us out to go panhandle for some money so we can get something to eat.
Wow.
So we were doing that as a kid. So stay in some shelters, but if they try to separate the family, then we would all just get back in the car and just go there. So eventually we found our way back in Philly for a little bit until my high school years. So it was always a struggle. My pops trying to hold down a job, dibble and dabble and hustling with the rest of my family members. Me looking at this fast money that he was getting, so at this time I'm like 13, 14.
Right.
Late years of middle school. I'm seeing this quick money my dad's getting, and then he would just stop, right? And I'm like, yo, the money's flowing in.
Right.
I'm seeing my uncles, they got the gold chains. They getting a new whip all the time. They breaking me and my brothers off with a couple hundred here and there to help out and do stuff. So I was like, I want that. That's what I want. I don't want to sleeping in this car, sleeping in these projects, these rats running around. I don't want none of that. I want what they got going on, So
that's right.
I became addicted to that lifestyle. I wasn't even living it yet, but I was just like, man, I gotta get there, You see these movies and they portray us as you either the dorky college guy, the basketball player, or the dope boy, right?
Right.
And I didn't want to be the guy getting bullied. I didn't want to be the guy who had to work real hard to get somewhere. But the dope boy always seemed to be the one to get it. right? And so that's where I gravitated my liking and wanting to be. So
Dang.
15, started running around with my best friend. We started hustling little zip bags, weed here and there, doing what we wanted to do, and bringing money in to help my brothers and sisters. Right, they need school clothes. I got you. We need something to eat. I got you. Right, because my pops wanted to live an honest life. My stepmom was disabled, so she couldn't work.
Right.
So it was me bringing in that paper, bringing in that food and stuff at 15, 14, doing that. So that was life. That was life for us.
Man, that's wild, bro. That's wild. And by me coming in, man, did your mom being away, did that ever affect you in a way?
Yeah, for sure. I always looked for that like motherly affection, right?
Right,
So my grandmother, again, I didn't get to see her as often as I wanted. When she did come around, it's like
right,
that's what I yearned for. I knew I needed that affection. My father was real hardened, really street dude. So like affection wasn't really his thing.
right,
Um, so even at a young age, I fell victim. I'm gonna say victim to seeking that affection that I would want from my mother, which in turn turned to like my babysitter and older family members, like friends, family friends,
right.
women, uh, introducing me to sexual things at a very young age that I was not even privy to. I didn't even understand what was happening, but being touched and using me for any pleasure that they wanted or making me do things to them. I'm talking 12 years old having to experience this, man. So not having a mom in my life led me to believe that in order to get this type of affection or this motherly affection, I need to do what these women were asking me to do. So
Wow. Wow, man, because I asked that because I know you know what society is, it's more of the dads that, leave and stuff like that, and not too much of the mothers. And for your mother to be the one, I just wanted to kind of hear that, like, how did you feel? Because I never ran into nobody that had a mother uh leave and not the dad. You see what I'm saying? And that's great right there, man.
it hurt because you want to know, like, did you do something wrong?
Right,
Like, was it that she had kids at a young age? And if so, like, why did she even choose to have us? Did she love drugs more than she loved her own kids? Like, these are thoughts that me and my brothers would like battle with. Um, and I was angry. I was super angry with her. Even to
mm-hmm.
this day, we don't have the greatest relationship. When I can get in touch with her or find where she's at, we talk and it's good for the moment, but then she disappears again. So it's been ongoing for years. So
Wow, man, that's and yeah, y'all. Stemming from that great story right there, man, that was great. Talk to me about so when you started to grow up, and even though we have touched base on it, when you started to grow up a little bit more and realize more things starting to get out there, what are the deeper things you would get into?
yeah, so 15, 16. As I say before, I was running around with my best friend and a couple of my cousins. So they were putting us on to like different things, how to hit a lick. It started with like just running into the corner store, snatching some stuff, running things
Right.
like that. To starting like distractions at school, slide some book bags underneath the table, go through what we need to go through, hit
Yeah.
the pawn shop later. Things like that. To just straight up snatching something off somebody's neck, right?
Mm.
Um, now, it was either always inflicting that or that being inflicted upon myself, right?
Right, right,
So like
right.
there was times where I'm walking home from school with my little sister and somebody recognized me, they know what I got on me, boom, right there, sticking me up right there, taking my kicks,
Dang.
snatching my chain, making me take off my jacket, things like that. So it was this continual thing. Now with me and my homeboy, we didn't really want to associate ourselves with like
Right.
one particular group or one particular like boss in the neighborhood or whatever. So we was
Right.
really like what you would call like free agents, right? We was those little bad dudes that was running around doing whatever. People knew that we had a couple baggages. If you need us during a party or something, we can get you the pills, we can get you the weed, whatever it was, right? Going sneaking into the college party, stuff like that, like the temple. university. But
and not meant to interrupt you. This is all in Philly, right?
this is all in Philly right
Okay,
now.
okay,
At this
okay,
point,
okay,
right?
okay,
So I'm
okay.
14, 15. I get into some trouble. Me and my brothers, we hanging out with my boy. We go to, I think it was like a Best Buy or something like that, right? So we
Yeah.
weren't just hustling like the paraphernalia. We was hustling like PS3, PS2 video
Y'all doing
games.
it big.
Yeah, like people wanted something. Hey man, can you get me like a starter deck of Yu-Gi-Oh cards? Like we knew where to go, how to hit those places up.
Wow.
So we was at the Best Buy, and I remember that day specifically. Something was like, don't go with them. Don't do your usual thing. But my brother was insisting. He was like, yo, quick in and out. We know what we're grabbing. Y'all know the routine. So I don't know if y'all remember, but certain electronic stores will have like demos where you can play the game.
Yeah, right. They
And
should have
play
them at
your shot.
Walmart and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So what we would do is we had two of our boys like we playing the game, whatever, and asking certain questions to the staff, making it like we really interested in buying something. The other two are like shopping for the stuff, slipping, box cutter, slipping the plastic, slipping the disc out, doing what we gotta do, right? Then we would
Wow.
go to the bathroom, get what we need, leave the evidence. This worked all the time, right?
Yeah.
Eventually, man, somebody spied us, and we went to the bathroom. They did what they had to do, and the manager was in the stall next to us, so he heard all the plastic ripping. And I kid you not, man, we were about to walk out. They were letting us get through. I think at this point they already ran the cameras back. We were about to leave. This dude came up, was like, "Hey, I need y'all's help real quick. Y'all look like some strong boys with me." And we fell for it. Ended up inside the security office, and the police were waiting. The manager was there, and it was like, "Look, this is what it is. You 16, 16, 15, 14. I can get all of y'all tried as adults." Right? He was like, matter of fact, the box cutter. At this time, we had empty our pockets, so the box cutter is considered a weapon. That's considered a weapon. So armed robbery. He was like, this is what it's going to be. I don't, you can't explain yourself out of this. So they called our parents.
Bro, don't tell me I ended up doing some time.
Nah. So this is the thing.
Oh,
okay. They detained us, took us downtown, did all the fingerprints, things like that.
Wow.
We got to our court date, right? So we got to go home, got to our court date. The judge was like, look, this is what it's going to be. You can either go to this place. They were going to send us to like this camp in Virginia.
Right.
It's like a boot camp type thing. You can serve some juvie time. Or your father has talked about you have a grandmother in the South and she's really in the church and volunteering and everything like that. I will give you a chance to get away from these streets. You go there, change your life. Don't end up like that. My boy was like, man, I ain't. My boy, he didn't relate to us, none of that. So the options for him were a little different. He was like, just send me to juvie. He looked at me, he was like, yo, Prince, bro, we got this. We got people up there. We know people. And my father chose for me. I told the judge, I was like, all right, I'll go to North Carolina. Right? So she kept up with us. So that was first experience with God's grace.
Man, yes, it was.
Knowingly experience, right? I knew that he was covering me. There was multiple times where we should have been dead. There was multiple times where dudes were pulling out on us. They were, drive-bys we survived. There were shootings at parties that we survived. There were times I was jumped and I survived. But I never really attributed that to God's grace or covering. That was the first time where I was just like.
So did you know it was God's grace right there, or you thought you were just lucky?
It was familiar to the stories my grandmother would tell.
Okay.
So I was like,
okay.
Oh, this is God.
Right.
I didn't have a relationship with him, none of that yet, but it was familiar to those stories. I was like, thank God. That's all I said. And and did it make me change? No. I went straight to the South, stayed with my grandmother. I knew some friends there from the summertime when I would go down there and visit her, and got right back into the streets there.
Wow.
Right? So I get affiliated with the Crips, IBK.
So it's Crips down there. Where
in the South, North. So we're in Winston-Salem, North Carolina now.
Okay. So
we moved from Philly. I'm like, I'm not going to juvie. I'm not going to no boot camp. Nobody's cutting my hair. None of that. I'm like, I'm going down there with my grandmother, and I thought it was gonna be smooth. She older. She real nice. I can get away with whatever there, right?
Right.
Not exactly. So, I'm there. I'm finishing up my 8th grade year. So this is the middle of 8th grade. Mind you, I'm still in middle school doing all this stuff.
Man. Right.
14 going on 15. So this is the last year. About to go into my freshman year of high school. the neighborhood I lived in was I was straight in the middle of the line. So this is Winston-Salem. They used to call it Trefo, and I was on 25th Street. So 26th Street full of Crips, 27th and 28th all Bloods, right in between. Eventually, you're gonna have to pick a side.
Right.
Who are you affiliated?
So wait, not to mean to cut you off again. I'm sorry, bro, but did your grandma stay over in that area?
She did.
Okay,
yeah.
okay,
Yep,
okay,
she
okay.
stayed in the area. She was heavy into the church in that area, so she knew a lot of the kids that lived there. Introduced me to some of the friends who actually ended up being the ones that got me affiliated. So I was cool with everybody, man. I was freestyle. I was really known. A lot of people knew me for freestyling and drawing and stuff like that. So,
right.
Or I would go to the rec, play some basketball, and people was like, man, like we can tell, like you ain't trying to be hard or anything like that, right? So I was just cool with people. I wasn't trying to overstep no boundaries. I wasn't trying to be something I wasn't. I knew the streets. I wasn't in love with the streets. It was just a part of me. It was in my DNA. So I didn't have to put on this facade to try too hard. So eventually somebody approached me and was like, hey man, look, word is getting around that you cool with some Crip dudes. Word is getting around you cool with some Blood dudes. They don't like that. So like you gotta make a decision. Like you either rocking with us over here or you over there. Cause you can't play two sides. Like right now you ain't got no choice. So me and my brothers, we was like, you know what? We really cool with the essays and a couple of my homies over here, so we gonna stick over here to the Crip side.
Right.
Didn't have to get jumped or anything like that. I got affiliate blessed in. Pretty much saying like, hey, nobody mess with him. He with us. Right. Some of the dudes saw some of the talents that I had. They was like, man, we gotta protect this dude because like we don't want nothing to happen to him. He a young cat. These are older dudes, by the way. These ain't just some 17-year-olds, 15. These are like 30-something-year-old, 40-year-old.
And you, the youngest one out there?
I'm like the youngest one. Me and my younger brother.
Wow.
Right. My middle brother, Greg, he was a wrestler, so he wrestled in school. So he wasn't really messing with none of that. He was school, sports. That was it. Me and my younger brother, it was like,
yeah.
I mean, they had all the girls, they had all the drip. They was cool, but there was times where you had to like really like throw down and do stuff, man, because people knew you was affiliated. I think the turning point with that was there was a guy we used to go out there and tag with, so we used to spray paint like trains and buses and stuff. Man.
Right.
That was Felix.
Right.
And one day, he came over. He was like, "Yo, I'm about to go tag up this area. The Bloods or whatever, Pyro.
Mm-hmm.
That's the area. We're gonna tag up this stuff." We were getting ready, but my grandmother was like, "Now y'all gotta stay home. Y'all got some stuff I need help with." So we told him like, "Hey, bro, we gonna stay here." He was like, "Cool. I'll come back later to see what y'all up to." He never came back.
What happened?
He ended up getting shot 12 times. They rolled him up in the carpet, and then they dumped his body behind a vacant house.
Wow, my God.
They didn't find him for 2 weeks. By that time, body was already rotting. The smell, like all of that, he was unrecognizable. They shot him 8 times in the head, 4 times in the torso. So,
wow, man. So how did that make you and your brother feel when y'all heard that?
It hit my brother the hardest. They were closer in age. They were real close, man. Like they used to do like tattoos and stuff together, and I think for him was just more like he was like, "Yo, Jeff, like that could have been us."
Yeah.
Like my grandmother was like, she was, she had considered. She was like, "Well, if y'all want to like just come help me later, y'all can go with him." But right, and then we was just like, "Nah, we'll help you out." So she gave us the option to go, and that night we just felt, yeah, let's just help her out,
My God is good, boy.
God
because
grace number 2, bro. Grace number 2. That like,
oh man.
And that man, that there did something in me. It was just like, man, is this what it's all about? Either, and I started thinking about like my mom, like what she was addicted to. So it's like, do I want to sell this stuff and make other versions of my mom? Do I want to get deeper into this lifestyle with like these gangs and stuff, and then create a version of my friend that just got killed, or have somebody else's mom mourning, or having to see their baby like that? Do I want to be like my brother, who's like, good in sports. He's doing good in school. He's watching anime. He's doing he's being himself. Where do I want to be?
So now you at a point where you
Analyzing, looking around, and it's like, man, this can't be it. This can't be all that it is, right? Because and I was going to school. I was still keeping my grades up, things like that. Perfect facade,
right. So you was doing all this and still had straight A's.
Yeah, still had straight A's. And I mean, and this is the thing. Like it was like it wasn't even like trying. I was like never really like people would tell me, "Man, you're so smart," and I'm like, "Yeah, you're supposed to say that."
Right.
You're supposed to say that, but it was just it kept the attention off of me. My intentions were never to get good grades so that I can get praise. It was to keep the eyes off of me. So if police was looking for the 3 teens that were vandalizing a car or a house, they're not going to suspect this kid over here who the teachers be like, no, not Jeff, not Prince.
Yeah.
He a good one. Yeah. My intentions were never pure. It was always a motive, man. It was always a motive, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, that's good, man. Wow, that's crazy, man. Oh man. So yeah. Stemming from that, through all of that, and I know you spoke on it a little bit, but and I know you're gonna get a little deeper on it. When did you know you needed to give your life to Christ, and you knew you needed God?
Yeah. So there was a scripture my grandmother would have us recite every night before bed, no matter how old I was. But by this time, my dad and my stepmom had moved down to the south, so we were all together again.
Right.
And it was Psalm 23. And it's a song of knowing that God is protecting you. He's keeping you within His will. He's letting you sit at the table. He's overflowing your cup, right? So I was familiar with it. I could recite it like that, backwards, forward, whatever. And so time progressed. I was at this youth group. I was in this youth group. It was at First Assembly Church of God in Winston-Salem, right across from Wake Forest University. So
right.
We would go to this Wednesday night thing. Now, mind you, this judge was still keeping tracks.
Yeah.
Talking to my grandmother, how's he doing? How things, all this. And we ended up going to this church every Wednesday night. And a lot of my friends from school go there, right? And the reason why they go is because it was this huge party on Wednesdays. It was one of those youth groups that really appealed to the youth.
Right.
In a real way. Right, you got your own space, the fog machines, the lasers going on, and they do worship, Christian hip hop. It's my first time hearing Christian hip hop, so I would go there every Wednesday. My wife, girlfriend at the time, man, Kendra, I invited her out. She started going. We joined in the youth groups, going on these trips and stuff, and I started really digging what they were doing, man, how they were engaging with us. Turns out one of the youth pastors there lived in my neighborhood, so he knew about the life out there. He knew of me. He heard of me. He would see me. And so I would go to his house frequently. I'm talking about, nothing about me really changed. I was still bringing my homies over. We kicking it. He would just do subtle things, man, just kind of really not just talking about Christ, but acting it out. Right? If I didn't feel safe walking all the way home, I would stop at his house. I'm like, dang, I got to walk through the blood territory. Terrence is right here. Let me go to his crib. Midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. Knock on the door. Hey, can I stay the night? I'll shoot back to my house first thing in the morning. Yeah, no problem. Right?
Wow.
So him and his wife, they let me in. And the way that they would treat me, man, started speaking to me. So I'm 17 at this point. I'm about to be 18. So this is 2008. I'm showing my age now, man. And 2008, I was 17, and I go to this service. I got some of my friends with me, and it was called the Mix 5 Experience, right?
Right.
And so one of the contests that they were doing was if you invite the most people, you win I think you win a car and an iPhone or something like that. And so I invited a gang of people. We had a bus full, a couple van full of people, and I came up there. Again, my intentions were not pure. I just wanted to win the prize.
Real talk. Yeah.
So we get there, and this guy, now mind you, I'm going to this youth group all the time, every Wednesday, and not once did someone present the gospel. They were preaching a series or something like that. This guy came, guest pastor. He's talking to these kids, and he gives the straight up gospel truth. You're sitting there, you're all filling the void that you can't fill. You feel empty. You keep trying to fill it up with all these different things, sex, drugs, parties, whatever it is, nothing's working. So at this point, I'm like, yo, this dude is talking directly to me.
Right.
These are all the things I'm doing. I'm partying, I'm having sex, I'm playing both roles. I'm this real good, smart, academically gifted kid at the church, but I'm doing all this stuff out here, right?
Right.
So I'm like, dang, he's talking directly to me. So that's the first thing. Like at this point, I'm not playing around, joking around with my homeboys because they all still just laughing and flirting with the girls and stuff. I'm locked in now.
Yeah.
Right. And he's like, yo, despite everything you've done and what you're currently doing, there's someone who loved you so much that they were willing to lay their life down. Now, I've experienced love from my grandmother, from my father, from my brothers, even to my homies. But not once did I think any of them will ever lay their life down for me, right?
Yeah.
So now I'm like, come on, that can't be real. There can't be someone who loves me. Like all the stuff I've done and the stuff I've seen, somebody will actually die for me. So I'm listening more. And by the end of his sermon, he's like, a king. Now it's not just anybody, a king who lived a perfect life, no blemishes, never done anything wrong, perfect in God's sight. God in the flesh decided to take on a human death, and not just any death, the worst possible death you can get. Tortured, beaten, ridiculed, right? Humiliated, crown of thorns on his head, pierced in the side, all of that, legs broken. I mean, he went all the way through with everything that Christ endured for me. That was it, man. At the end of it, he was like, if anybody wants to receive the Lord today and want to change their lives, you feel like you've been feeling like there's no change in sight, you're ready to make a difference, you want to continue living. He said, as a matter of fact, there's somebody in this room today, you've had so many brushes with death, you don't even know how you're still standing. That was me.
Oh, man.
From my heart stopping at that basketball tournament to the people shooting in our direction, the people at the parties shooting in our direction, my homie getting killed like he did. All of these missed the bullets, bro. So many brushes with death, right? And now is your moment to step into eternal life. And so I got up, man. My friends were looking at me all weird, but at that moment,
you tripping?
Yeah. But at that moment, man, it was like the room started to just turn into like pitch black. I couldn't see anybody. I could just see the front of that altar. That's the only thing I could see. At that point, everything was drowned out, was muted, no distractions. For me to look over, to fall back, nope. It was like a straight lane, and I'll never forget it, man. It was just all I heard was, I love you, and I've been waiting for you to come home. Ooh. That's all I heard, and that's all it took. That's all it took,
man. Oh man, that's so crazy and deep. You know why that's so crazy and deep, y'all? And look, y'all, as y'all listen to this, man, hear this. Remember, Jesus know us before we was in our mother's womb.
Yeah.
You was already saved.
Yeah.
You just came and did what you had to do on earth, but you was already saved. That night, man, oh man, I can get deep, man. You was already saved, bro.
Yeah,
like
the blueprint
because
was already laid out. It was already mapped out.
Oh man.
Yeah.
And what I love about that too, because you said, what was the guy's name, or who was he that let you stay at his crib?
Terrence.
Man, the greatest sign you can show to somebody that might not know anything about God yet, or not having just stepped their life fully into Christ, is show them love.
Yeah.
Because what he could have did was like, nah, you can't stay because somebody might shoot on my crib looking for you. You know, like da 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 da. That would have made you be like, what? Like, what you? That would have kind of like, man, this Christian stuff and this Christ. But the great, let me give y'all an example before I let you keep going. when Peter, when Jesus had met Peter on the boat, he didn't tell Peter nothing that he done or boom 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 or la da da. He showed Peter love.
Yep.
And by showing Peter love, that's what made Peter like,
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? It was the love.
Yeah.
He never tried to teach Peter the word.
Nope.
Try to say, bro, come here. No, I got to teach you this. You know what I'm saying? It says in First Matthew that you had to do this, da da da. He didn't do none of that.
None.
He didn't even try to prophesy over his life and say, man, I see you dying in 2 weeks. He didn't have to do none of that.
No scare tactics, no coercion, none of that.
None of that. He just showed him love. And by showing him love, that made Peter drop on his knees like, Father, I'm a sinner. I'm not even worthy of none of this. You know what I'm saying? And it's about love. So I really love. What's his name again?
Terrence. Yep.
Man, hey, shout out Terrence.
Shout out to T King, man.
Man, that's how you're supposed to do it, man. Because you're supposed to show people love. Don't try to go rush people and tell them what they done. Man, you smoke. No, show them love. The greatest thing ever is love. And man, that's great right there, bro.
Yeah. It was from that day, like, and you know, you have that first year of just like zealous spirit. You excited, man. You want to share this message with everybody. That wasn't easy, man, because like I'm still in this neighborhood, I'm still in this circumstance. Right. So now it's like, all right, I've received you. I know you're real. I felt you. There's no denying what I just tasted. There's no denying what that was, right? And that's all I desired to feel from there, right? It was better than any weed high, any drunken night. It like that there.
That's that aha.
This that living water everybody was talking about. Like this is, I need a sip of that. Man.
Yeah, real talk, real talk.
And just going back and sharing it with all my friends, man, and all of my friends from high school, my best friends, the ones I used to rip and run the streets with, they are all believers now. Ooh. I'm talking married, families. They're holding their households down. Like these dudes, man. We've been friends going on more than 20 years, man. Like just us, man. Like in the Lord's grace, like holding us, keeping us alive. And you know, I look at these guys, man, and what we endured and their experience and their encounter with the Lord, bro. It was so hard. It really was. It was hard because you had to go back to this place where people knew you for all the wrong reasons. And then you kind of felt like you had to prove to them that you were changed.
Right. Hey, man, boy, keep going, boy. You own it.
You know, shorty's hanging line. Like me and my girlfriend, we had broke up. And the girls hit my line, yo, come hang out. Nah, I can't. What? You was just over here 2 months ago? I can't. Nah, I can't. But you know, I go to this thing on Wednesday nights. Oh, here you go with that Jesus stuff. That's what everybody kept saying. It was like, boy, stop. You know, what? You got a court date coming up? Something. What's up? Why are you acting like this? Like, or I would tell people, nah, I'm not into that no more. Hey, but bro, this is dude, right? Bro, I used to smoke a whole pound on Saturdays. Don't act like that. So every time I was like, I felt like I was leaving that behind. Someone was quick to remind me of all the wrong I've done. Just any moves that I was making that was in alignment to His will, and I was excited about it or that wanted to share it, they would remind me of what I did. So that became the new challenge in life, right? And so I remember I started getting into Christian hip hop. It was like Terrence introduced me to it, and I used to rap, used to love rapping, freestyle and stuff like that. And he was like, "Man, you need to pick up your pen and like really talk about your life, and you know, write something. I'll let you perform at the next service."
Right.
So I was like, "Man, I don't." So he was like, he gave me a CD. It was Dre Murray. I would never forget this. It was Dre Murray CD mixtape. Dre Murray. If you ever see this, I apologize. It was a bootleg. But it was fire. And I was like, yo, you can actually rap about man. Right. So there was a little bit of my old life that I could bring, something I was familiar with that I could use for God's glory. So I was super excited for it. And I started rapping. Started spitting corniest bars ever first off. There was a bunch of remixes to secular songs. I would put some hallelujah bars to it. Super corny at first. And then like the Lord just kept giving me new words to say, new rhythms, new flows, letting me sit in with certain sessions of people who I didn't know would end up being the names that they are today. But I got to witness all of this because of Terrence and like just the Lord directed my steps. And, I fell in love with it, bro. Like full steam, just fell in love with it, and that created opportunities for me later on. So I don't know if you want me to continue sharing it or if that's for the next section, but yeah, it's like
Yeah, we gonna get into the next session, man.
Dope.
Oh man, that's great, man. That's man. That's great. That's great. So this is out of all that leading up to this is one of the best parts to me.
Yeah.
One of the great part because God is so amazing.
He is.
And yeah. What are some of the great things that you are doing now? God has blessed you with and opportunities that came with being in Christ and just your life just being transformed and everything. What are the great things that you are doing now?
Word. So throughout the years of me walking with the Lord, or the Lord really shepherding me and leading me and guiding me, I've got to experience communities, fellowships, different ministries I've been involved with, education, like just furthering my knowledge of the Word and who He is. And so what came with that was like He was sharpening my pen game, and that was leading me to different stages. So at one point in time, opening up for like Thizzle, Cannon, Derek Minor, right? And
Right.
wherever they're touching down in the city. Recording music with the group I had started. I had started Team Redeem with my boy EJ.
Right.
So we're recording music. We're doing all these shows. It was us, Mike Teasy, the one Keon. So we were all like North Carolina Winston boys doing that. Scooty Wop was like sending beats to like EJ. It was cool, like how all that was working out.
Right.
And so I got married maybe a couple years after I got saved. But I was 21, I got married. It didn't last long. I thought that's what the Lord wanted. Get married, no more dating, no more doing all that, right? Again, that zealous energy going on. But we were unequally yoked. This is not who I'm currently with, or that wasn't the girlfriend I was dating, right? Got divorced. The Lord guided me through that.
Right.
22 years old with a divorce. You're like, man, make it make sense. This is wild, right? No kids. So cool. Get to move on. I start working as a teacher. Get through school, start working as a teacher, after school director. So He's blessing me with these opportunities. I'm starting to work jobs that I never saw family members work. Right. I'm holding it down with a 9 to 5, not having to depend on a nickel or dime bag here and there, or a key of something. I'm like literally being able to hold it down with a 9 to 5. You know what I'm saying? Like it was, and then I'm impacting these kids, this new generation of kids who are going to be growing up, right? So I got an opportunity to touch people in a way that I was never touched. I was never impacted. So then we go from there. I'm moving on and still doing the music thing. And it was 2017, so time is going up, 27. Been walking with the Lord for a long time. Me and my wife now, my girlfriend from high school, who received also, I meant to say, she received the Lord that day when I did as well. And
at the same place?
Same place,
wow.
Same service. She had received the Lord as well. We went our separate ways, we're still friends. She was a paralegal at the time when we got back together. But we had always kept in contact, and it was just the Lord's timing, bro. I started courting her, and we started dating 2020. We said our I do's, and the Lord blessed us with twin boys.
Wow,
so
man.
So now I'm a father. I get to, and there's a mom and a father in the household together. I didn't get to experience that, wow. With both parents in the house. So my twin boys, it was Asher and Axel. And shortly after, we learned that Asher didn't make it. So he had, one of my sons passed away.
Oh man!
And still, and this is still a testament to God's faithfulness, man. My son Axel shouldn't have made it either, but the Lord did what He does. There had been promises that were spoken to me, words of knowledge that people had spoke to me about. You're going to father, you're going to father a son one day, and you're going to lead him in a way, and his nickname is going to be Son of Thunder, right? Like you're gonna father him with such a storm of love. And I heard that from multiple people, didn't really know what to think of it, and then it finally happened. And so he survived something that he shouldn't have survived by man's logic, right?
Right.
But God's logic and his way of doing things
It's so
just surpasses it.
yeah.
Man. And so my son's here today. He's 3 years old.
Oh
You know, he
man.
had a hole in his heart. The next time we went back to his appointment, fully closed up. He had breathing issues that was preventing him from breathing in his sleep. This is all from the pregnancy of losing one of our twins. So he had all these health conditions, and he's 3 years old now, fully healed, man.
Wow, amen.
Fully healed. Like the Lord's faithfulness, man. Me and my wife just celebrated 4 years of marriage. The longest I've ever seen anybody in my life stay together and stay consistent in a relationship. Going on 7 years together. That's the Lord. That's my biggest flex is my family. My biggest flex is my family, man. It was 2022. 2022, 2023. I linked up with Adam Elijah. He's in Orlando, Florida. He had reached out to me. We had heard some of my music on CHH Promotions. So I was I was getting back in my bag of CHH and submitting music here and there.
Right.
Just testing it out, man. Let me see if I still got it. I still had it by Louis Grace.
Yes, sir.
So he reached out. He was like, yo, I love your music, man. You ever thought about getting like some professional engineering services, right?
Right.
And so I thought about it because I was doing it all by myself at this time. And I'm like, nah, I never thought about it, but like let's give it a try. Right. So we started getting into business together. He's doing all my engineering stuff. Maybe 2 months later, the Lord just we were talking every day, chopping it up, encouraging each other, things like that. He had offered. He was like, "Look, I'm starting a business called Remnant Sonics. I would love for you to be part of the leadership with it." There was also Austin Knowles, our in-house producer and DJ, and us three. This when I say this is, those are my dogs, man. Those are my brothers, and we were able to do Remnant Sonics. We've worked with artists from, and this is recently, we've worked with artists from Social Club to Canton Jones.
Wow.
To Gospel Gangsters to PID. We do, now I'm doing the cover art and all the graphics and stuff for Jay Woods, Vert Pro, this community here in Texas. We're doing stuff out there in the Florida area. And it just took off, man. It took off, and the Lord's been faithful, man. Our first year in business with doing music together, helping other people with their music career and jumpstarting that, we were able to hit a couple million streams that first year.
Wow, right? God is good.
Man, he's so faithful, man. He's so faithful, and now 2024 is around, and we're taking it up even higher this year, and actually meeting up, doing these shows, traveling, being able to do even more. We just brought on another member. I don't know if we're going to announce it. I think we did just announce him. Mikey J is now part of the team. We brought him on. He's on all the marketing and stuff like that. We're getting clients left and right. And this is all a testament of God fulfilling a promise that he would never forsake me. Right. That he would never leave me behind. That he will also double everything that I lost. I've lost friends. I've lost relationships. I've burned bridges with people. I've hurt people. The neighborhood that I was responsible for damaging with the things we were selling and the things we were doing to other people with the robbing and all this other stuff, I was able to go back this time with a missions heart, right? And so I was, at one point in time, the source of pain and hurt in some people's lives, to coming back years later and introducing them to eternal life, to introducing them to who Christ is, the gospel message. That, I think that there was probably one of the biggest things miracles I ever saw God perform, was allowing me to go back to my old neighborhood and share the gospel and pray with people and see people healed, see people delivered from familiar spirits. And it was, I'm starting to tear up just thinking about it, man, just where he's taken me from there. Just all of the trauma and events that, again, should have made me go a whole different way in life. I should be either in a custom casket right now. I should be in an orange suit, chains on my feet and hands. I should be I shouldn't be a father. And these are the things I used to tell myself. But God is like, who are you to determine what you should or shouldn't be? Right? Who are you to
Wow.
determine or make those type of decisions?
That's right.
Have you not learned anything from the very beginning? All the times that I've been there for you. This is my will for you. We're not going to hang on the past and what should have been. We're going to worry about what is. Right. I am. Right. And I think of that constantly. Whenever the enemy tries to remind me again, always picking up the past and all this other stuff, whenever the enemy tries to remind me of something that had gone wrong in my life, man, the Lord comes back tipping the scale of everything that he's done and what he's continuing to do. I told you that the first taste of CHH I ever had was that bootleg CD with Dre Murray.
Yeah.
And we just finished a song together.
Wow.
And that, like, when you think of stuff like that, you're like, you can't make that up, man. You can't make
Man, God is
that.
good, man.
You can't make it up.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. So I say all that to say, man.
Man, that's one of the greatest things ever, man, is to whether it be having somebody's CD, hearing somebody's song you listen to every day, or somebody you used to admire on the internet or something, they ended up doing business or working with them.
Yeah. It's wild. It's wild, man. So
wow, man.
Just a testament of his faithfulness and his grace on my life, man. And it's not over.
It's not over, man. Hey, man, blessings to everything that you got going, man. Yeah. And remain to keep your eyes on him, man, because he have a whole lot for you, man. A whole lot for you, man. So, man, I love that, man. Keep going up, man. Keep going up. I love it, man. And y'all, I hope y'all really got empowered by this. It's a whole lot you can take out of this. And not only that, man, look what God can do. This is, hey, man, none of us is worthy, man, of anything. But God, his ways are not our ways. And you gotta really let that sink in for a couple minutes. Yeah. His ways are not our ways. Man, I'm telling you, man, God do some mysterious things that it's like, man, is this even God? Yeah. Like, but this is God. Man, it's just so much, man. But Prince, man.
Appreciate you.
Hey, boy. Man, God is good, man. This is a walking testimony right here, y'all. And I need y'all to see all the things you can get out of this. Love. You got surrounding yourself with a great community. Building. It's just so much. You know what I'm saying? I can't get into all the specifics, but it's just so much you can get out of this. And I hope y'all really do. So make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, man. Hit the notification button, man. And if you have a testimony to share too, make sure to hit the link in the description. If you don't want to get on camera, make sure to join the group chat, and even share your testimony to us. I'm willing to listen. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of people that got great stories. And before I close this out, you got anything you want to shout out to people to go get or to go follow you on anything like that? Go ahead and shout it out.
Yeah. If any of y'all are interested in keeping up with me and seeing what else is in store, man, you can find me on Instagram. I'm mostly on there, Kid Prince Forever. Also, if you go to www.remnantsonics.com, if you're an artist, and this is really important, if you're an artist and you are wanting to step out and really use the talents that the Lord has blessed you with, and you just don't have the resources, there's a new excuse every day as to why you haven't stepped out to do it. Hit us up, and we do consultations. And our goal is to help that artist specifically, whether it's providing your engineering, whether it's providing you with a beat catalog, with licenses to record, whether it's helping you get the creative direction, directing your next music video, to your cover art, to your logo, to marketing. Hit us up. We're here for you. We just want to see all of you guys win and really step into God's intention for your life and this industry. So, I appreciate you, man, and giving me the chance to spill and bore y'all with my story.
No, man, I appreciate you, man. You blessed me with your presence, man. And yeah, man, these guys are doing something great. So y'all make sure to tap in with that. They're doing something awesome, man. They're helping a lot of people. And I'm actually gonna tap in with him and see what's up and what's going on after this. So y'all make sure y'all do the same. And like I say, man, y'all make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification button. Like I always say, man, share it to everybody. Whether that be your next door neighbor, whether that be your employee, whether that be your working partner, no matter what it is, whether it be your animal, share it to everybody, man. And like I always say, if you watching this, I dropped it. I love you, but Jesus love you more for sure.